Do you know if you take the right decision as a manager or if you should take the decision at all? The first thing we look at is who is responsible taking decisions. The next thing is we take 5 different decision frameworks apart, and if you stay until the end, we dive deeper into how you can apply decision frameworks in practice. Let's look into who is responsible for what decisions. When should you take the decision as a manager? Fairly simple. You should take decisions when there are high stakes, and that could be strategic decisions, resource allocations, or things that are touching the wider environment of the organization. Then of course another thing is where there are confidential decisions that need to be taken where not everyone can be involved. Something that's fairly obvious: if you have specific expertise nobody else in the organization have, you should take the decisions in that field. When should a team member take the decisions themselves? And that's almost opposite. It starts with the skills. If your team member has specific skills and specific knowledge that nobody else has, they should take the decisions. But I always like to enable them to take decisions even if they have not 100% the skills. I want them to go deeper into how do you take decisions when you don't have all the data. They need to gather the data, they need to bring these things together to be able to take decisions themselves. Because if you always take the decisions, they will not take the decisions. Keep them accountable as well, helping them to decide. And that's specifically when it comes to normal routine decisions. You really need to train your team members that they take all the routine decisions that help them to move forward in their processes, in their tasks that they're doing on a weekly basis. The next level of this is then when should the team take decisions? The team should take decisions when you need the collective brain power of all of them. Then you bring them together, do brainstorming, go deeper into topics and help them to decide. So you are the facilitator of decision making for the whole team, but in the end the team takes a decision, and that's important for building confidence as a team and as well a team building exercise. I always say it's their baby, so they take the decision into action and then protect it going forward because they have built it together. It's not you as the manager putting the decisions on the team. The team is deciding on something specific with your support, and then they fight for it. Let's get into the 5 decision-making frameworks that help you to take decisions and enable others to do so too. The first framework is a cost-benefit analysis. Fairly simple. It's understanding what's the benefit on one hand and what's the cost on the other hand. You often do this with business cases, and as you can imagine, it starts with analyzing the cost, going deeper into all the different costs and all the different benefits, and then through that you get a picture to be able to take an informed decision. The next framework is the Eisenhower Matrix. I love this one because that's one of the most important decision frameworks I have used in the past and still use with different teams and teach all the time to first-time managers, because that's one of the critical things a lot of people get wrong. So what is the Eisenhower Matrix? The Eisenhower Matrix is a matrix where you have 4 quadrants. This matrix is designed to help you to understand what are the important things, what are the urgent things, and how do you divide them for yourself and for your team members. From a process perspective, what you do is you put all the different topics you need to decide into the quadrants. So the first quadrant is really all about these are critical tasks, that's why it's urgent and important. The quadrant number 2 is put that into your calendar because it's important but not urgent, so you can plan the tasks that need to be done in your calendar. That's why it's often called plan phase as well. Quadrant number 3, specifically important for you as a manager. These are the topics you can delegate to someone else. And then the quadrant number 4 is the best one because this is the one you should get rid of. Either eliminating them completely or look into reducing them as much as possible. And using this Eisenhower Matrix is magic. If you do this alone, it helps you to understand what are the things you should be doing right now, what are the things you should be doing in the future, what are the things you should be delegating and get rid of. And I do this as well with the teams, enabling the team to understand what are the different things they should be prioritizing and moving into their calendars. It's very helpful as a team exercise in the same way. The next one is a simple one, which is the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. And this really means what are the 20% you should be doing to get 80% of the outcome. Because often it is the other way around. We are spending 80% on something specific to get 20% of the outcome. You need to be very critical as a manager to look into what are the things that truly move the needle and help the team to move on. The next framework I like very much as well because it's linked to coaching and leadership. It's the 5 why framework. Asking 5 times why in a row, and it starts like all others. You identify the problem you want to dive deeper into. And then you ask the first time why. Why is this the case? And then you go deeper. When you have answered that question, you go into the next why. When you have answered the second why, you go into the third, and so on to end up with the 5th why. And of course, it's not always 5 whys to get to something, but it helps you to dive deeper into what is the root cause of that problem to be able to verify how do you take decisions on this specific topic. And again, you can do this alone, and you can do this one-on-one, and you can do this with the whole team. And the 5th framework is the pro and con list. This is super simple, and you most probably have heard about it, but very helpful, specifically as a first-time manager. You again put all the different topics in one list, and then you look into what are arguments for that and what are arguments against that. You can do this with individual team members and as well with the whole team. So these were the 5 decision-making frameworks. Nothing too complicated, I get it, but still helpful. Let's get into applying them into practice. This is what it is all about. If you just know the theory, you might have heard it already, but if you can't apply it into practice, it's very difficult to be a good first-time manager. So we take 3 scenarios. First scenario is you as a manager take the decision. The second scenario is a team member of you is taking a decision. And the third scenario is the team takes decisions. For the first scenario, we take the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Let's imagine there's a decline in productivity with your organizational unit, and you want to look into what is the root cause of that. And as we know, 80% of the productivity loss comes from 20% of the issues. And that's what you want to find out and filter first. Let's imagine there are 2 things you found out: unclear project directives and communication issues within your department. These are the 80% that cause the productivity issues in your department, and you take this to the next level. With this understanding, you take the decision and solving these 2 things. Let's go into scenario 2. You meet up with the project manager in this case, and because you have used the Eisenhower Matrix in the past, you don't need to explain it to him. So you're just triggering him, hey, let's use the Eisenhower Matrix and look what are all the different things we can find out, and driving a clear project directive. You have the responsibility in asking questions, but in the end the decisions are done by the project manager. And at the end of the conversation, you have a clear plan. What are the urgent things that need to be done directly? What are the important things that need to be scheduled? What are the things that need to be delegated? And what are the things that need to be eliminated? Very easy, using a tool that helps both of you to go deeper into that topic to solve it. In the third scenario, we take the communication issues into the whole team. You have a team meeting where you organize a workshop. And for that workshop, we use the pro and con list. So what are the positive things? What are the negative things? And that as a total team. So you prepare a workshop where you maybe have sticky notes where everyone is doing a little bit of brainstorming, putting sticky notes on the wall, describing what they think are the positive things and what they think are the negative things. With that, you can then prioritize that list all together and really dissect what are the pro things, what are the con things, and then as a team again take the decisions, what are the things that help us as a team to communicate better and really put things into place. What I always like to do, I put responsibilities on specific people. As more clear you go out of a workshop like this, as easier it is for the team to get things into action afterwards. Let me know how you take decisions for yourself and as well with other team members in the comments below. And if you're interested in how to delegate tasks, please check out the next video. And by the way, like, comment and subscribe to get more videos like this one. See you in the next video.